the entire region will burn. This is what Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said in 1986. CNN will present this as the rantings of an old fanatic, long detached from reality. Fox News will portray it as a pretext for immediate bombings to show who's boss. But I'll tell you the truth. This isn't hysteria or empty bluster. This is the most accurate military forecast for 2026, and this threat has a precise address. 23 degrees north latitude, 60 degrees east longitude. The coordinates of the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, currently idling 200 miles off Oman, like a target at a shooting range. I've seen how such warnings play out firsthand. Baghdad, 2020. A missile attack on an American base. Then, too, they screamed, the response will be harsh. And then ordinary guys from Iowa and California came home in zinc coffins. Their families received flags instead of sons. This isn't political rhetoric. This is an algorithm that triggers a chain reaction. One shot, and the whole house is on fire. Why now? Trump's second term. Nuclear deal negotiations are at a complete standstill. Saudi Arabia and Israel are pressuring Washington. Strike first, before it's too late. Tehran knows this. In an open battle with the United States' Sixth Fleet, they would lose within a day. But they're not idiots. They're playing a different game. Blackmail. Where our aircraft carrier isn't a superweapon, but a juicy bait. The stakes, the lives of 2,000 sailors on board, and the price of gas at your pump. Today we'll dissect this algorithm. Why the threat to quote 4 isn't Iran's weakness, but their main trump card. A strategy that sends shivers down the spines of Pentagon generals. Watch closely, it's about to get hot. They tell you, Iranians are fanatics, longing for apocalypse. Nonsense. A war with America would be suicide for them. They are not suicidal. They need the terror of this war. Fear is their real oil, their currency in the big game. And deterrence isn't our missile submarines and bombers in the sky. No, their deterrence is when the whole world is held hostage. Let's use logic. Imagine a bar in a dusty town. You're a big, burly guy with sledgehammer fists, and across from you is a scrawny guy with a knife to the bartender's throat. He won't get into a one-on-one fight. He'll yell, "Touch me and I'll slit his throat, and the whole bar will go up." Hostages? These aren't random unfortunates. These are Saudi Arabia with its oil wells, Israel with its borders, China with tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, and, of course, your aircraft carrier, quote, 6, quote, with 2,000 sailors on board. The perfect bait. Iran doesn't strike first. It makes you afraid to strike. Let's test it. January 2026. The former U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, a guy who coordinated these fire dances himself, tells, quote 7, the truth. Quote 8, hear the echo? It's not us keeping them in fear with our aircraft carriers. It's them pulling the strings, making the Pentagon squirm in their seats. Blackmail works because the stakes aren't their lives, but our chains. Global trade, your taxes, the stability of the dollar. And now for the cherry on top. 2 scenarios for your wallet. First, Trump pulls the trigger, hitting nuclear facilities. A strike and a response. The Strait of Hormuz is ablaze. 20% of the world's oil, up in smoke. The price per barrel will skyrocket to $150 within a week. Your gas at the pump, $7 a gallon. Grocery delivery, plus 30%. Inflation whips your wallet like a lash. Mortgages rise, electricity bills burn. The money on the aircraft carrier? $6.5 million a day, 200 million a month. That could build 100 schools in Ohio or provide treatment for 10,000 cancer patients. Instead, we're paying for their fear. Second scenario. We blink first. We back down. Khamenei will smirk into his beard. His Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps generals will realize threats are a winning ticket. Next time they'll demand more. Sanction relief, nuclear concessions. Blackmail escalates, like poker with endless stakes. And who are the fools? We are. Because their quote 9 is our paralysis. The math is simple. They spend pennies on threats. We spend billions on quote 10. Who's playing whom? But these are just the small things. Watch closely. 3 quiet signals that the proxy machine has already been launched. And when they surface, your gas station will be the first to feel it. So, the threat has been voiced. But war doesn't begin with the loud speeches of an Ayatollah. It begins in the silence of deserts and on dark radio frequencies. I'll give you 3 verifiable signs that Iranian proxies, that is, doing dirty work through others, are already on high alert. These signals aren't from CNN. They're from satellite images and intercepts that anyone with internet can verify. And when they surface, your gas station will be the first to feel it. Oil will surge, and with it, your grocery bill. Sign 1. The silence of the airwaves grows loud. A sharp surge in encrypted traffic between Tehran and Lebanon's Bekaa Valley. This isn't sending memes. This is giving orders to Hezbollah, the same Shia militia that Iran has been feeding and arming for decades. Intercept data is available in reports from independent analysts, such as Sina. When such traffic spikes, expect rockets on northern Israel or sabotage along the border. In patterns from 2020 to 2025, this always preceded strikes. Watch closely. They don't talk for nothing. They prepare. Sign 2. Night moves in the Syrian desert. We look at thermal satellite images of Al-Bukamal, a town on the Iraqi border. Sudden activity in warehouses that have been cold as tombs for weeks. These aren't rug merchants. This is the distribution of anti-tank guided missiles and drones to pro-Iranian militias. Images from Planet Labs show trucks with thermal engine signatures moving under cover of night. The cherry on top, this flurry of activity coincides with the USS Abraham Lincoln's exercises in the Arabian Sea. Coincidence? I don't think so. This is logistics for an ambush. And if it works, one sunk tanker and your taxes will go to saving ships, not to roads in your state. Sign 3. The most brazen. Houthi drills in the Red Sea. Yemeni Ansar Allah rebels suddenly start launching ballistic missiles and testing new naval drones. And they declare, "We are ready to defend the rights of the Palestinian people." Translation: we are ready to block the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait if Tehran orders it. One torpedoed tanker and insurance rates will skyrocket, followed by oil prices and the delivery of your Amazon order. Reports from the Center for Strategic and International Studies indicate such exercises are always synchronized with Iranian threats. This is not a coincidence. This is a rehearsal for chaos, where your gas is the first casualty. These 3 signals are not paranoia. These are patterns I've tracked since Baghdad. They show the proxy machine has been launched quietly but inexorably. And now the question: if Trump pulls the trigger, who will feel the repercussions first? Iranian generals or you at the checkout? We'll grab a calculator in the next part. All right, the signals are blinking red on the radar. Iran's proxy machine is idling, and Washington is hesitating at the button. But enough talk. Let's, like adults, calculate the cost of this final warning. Get out your calculator. And let's use logic. First, direct costs. The quote 12-carrier strike group is not a pleasure yacht. 1 day of its deployment in the Arabian Sea costs taxpayers $6,500,000. This is from the U.S. Government Accountability Office report for 2024. A month of tense confrontation? $200 million. Imagine, with that money, you could build 100 new schools in Ohio. The same Ohio where Trump just gathered votes. Or pay for cancer treatment for 10,000 people. But instead, we're paying for our guys on deck to sweat under Iranian drones. Watch closely. Every hour of waiting is your taxes evaporating into the Persian air. Now for the cherry on top, your personal account, the economic blow. The Strait of Hormuz is the bottleneck for 20% of the world's oil. Data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. If it's closed for even a week, the price per barrel will skyrocket to $150. At the pump, that's an extra $2 to $3 per gallon of gas. Your commute? An extra $50 a week. Food delivery, plastic bags at the store, synthetic clothing, everything will go up by 10 to 15%. The inflation you barely managed to suppress will return as a tsunami. Your dollar salary will remain the same, but your purchasing power will fall. This isn't abstract. This is your grocery bill, a mortgage that will eat up another chunk, and electricity bills, because oil pulls all the strings in the economy. Let's sum it up. Iran spends pennies, a couple of millions on drones and propaganda. We spend billions on, quote, 13, risking the collapse of our own oil basket. Who are the fools? Math is a heartless thing. It whispers, in this high-stakes game, we are already losing. Their strength is in our fear, and our fear is in your wallet. And if Trump does strike, the repercussions won't hit Tehran first. They'll knock on your door. What to do when all options are a minefield? We'll discuss that in the finale. So, the puzzle is complete. Khamenei's threat is not the bluff of a mad old man. It's a cold, calculated algorithm. An algorithm where our massive aircraft carrier becomes our own vulnerability. Where their weakness, a poor army and sanctions, turns into strength through fear. Fear that we ourselves feed. And the real war? It doesn't start with a shot. It starts with 3 quiet signals. A surge in air traffic between Tehran and Lebanon, night shadows in the Syrian desert, and false Houthi exercises off Yemen. These signals are not noise. They are a siren. And it's already wailing. What to do? Wait for politicians in Washington to pull the trigger? No. This isn't a movie. This is your reality. Your task is not to be a hamster on the wheel of panic from CNN or Fox. Your task is to be informed, to see these signals in advance. When the news mumbles about, quote, 14, grab your phone and check the price of oil. This isn't geopolitics. This is your financial security. Your gas at $7 a gallon. Your mortgage, which will eat up another chunk. Electricity bills, because oil pulls all the strings. Let's use logic. I've seen these games from the inside. Baghdad, 2020, a rain of rockets on bases. Ordinary guys from Iowa came back in zinc. Don't repeat the mistakes. Subscribe. I will be watching their hands. Satellite images, intercept reports, quiet movements in the shadows. And you Arm yourselves with facts. Because in a world where truth is hidden behind patriotic rhetoric and loud slogans, the main weapon is knowledge. It will save your wallet. And, maybe, lives. And one last thing. Strength is not in the biggest aircraft carrier. Strength is in who makes that giant dance to their tune, without even touching it. As the quote 15 cuts through the waves off Oman, ask yourself, who is really leading this game? And are you ready to pay their bills? With oil, inflation, fear? Watch closely. It's about to get even worse.